up guys, welcome back to the channel, and here we have a special guest. He's actually my first mentor ever. His name is Jeremy, and I'm really excited to have him, in this episode. In this one, I just want to go over, a little bit more about, how you started, your first online business and everything like that, kind of like a little bit more your story, because I think, for you guys, it's important to understand other people's success stories, not just with e-commerce, but with online business and everything like that. So Jeremy, can you kind of tell us a little bit more, about your first ever business, your first business, and then you can kind of go into, your first online business.
Awesome. Yeah, so first off, thank you for having me on the channel. Definitely excited to talk to some of you guys. Cam's an amazing person. If you guys are subscribed, he definitely gives a lot of knowledge. But with that being said, I'll tell you guys a little bit about my story and kind of how I got started. So I got started in business when I was like 12 or 13 with my first business that I was just like, selling up, basically reselling like designer clothes, right? Like Supreme, Bape, things like that. I was reselling items, and then at the time I turned like 15 to 16, I really got started in e-commerce. And I really started my first successful, six-figure big women's clothing brand when I was 16 years old. And then from there, it kind of scaled. I ended up teaching people, which is how I ended up meeting Cam. Then from there, we started running businesses together, and it's been a crazy journey. But by no means, when I was 12 years old running businesses, did I ever think that it would get to this point. Or by no means did I ever think I would be able to, teach other people and help other people get started as well. But it all worked out with enough grind, with enough hustle. I learned that you can do anything. And the number one takeaway I learned from my journey is just, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody's telling you, if you believe in yourself enough, you can achieve whatever you want. As I said, I had my first successful store when I was 16. And from there, that's kind of when it scaled. So that's kind of the start of my journey.
Exactly. That's perfect. And I'm sure that, you definitely face a lot of difficulties, with your first ever, online business. So what's kind of like some difficulties that you face, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so one of the biggest difficulties that I faced being young and in business was honestly being young and in business, right? One of the biggest things when you're young, you're around a lot of friends, right? You're going to school, so you're around a lot of friends. There's a lot of distractions. There's, parties. There's all sorts of things going on in your life when you're younger that, are involving not business, right? You're not really supposed to be, right, by society's terms, supposed to be thinking about business when you're that age. But I was a little different. I was honestly very, very driven towards business. However, me being that age, I was around a lot of people who, told me, hey, just take the easy route. You don't need to be doing this at this age. You don't need to be going this hard, right? You can take a step back, right? My parents, my friends, people all around me were telling me, that, hey, you shouldn't do this. It's risky, it's hard. And honestly, that was one of my biggest, struggles to overcome was, learning how to put other people's opinions aside and really realize that, you have one life, you have one chance to make, an opportunity turn into a success, and it's only up to you to make that happen, right? At the end of the day, if you're younger and you're going through these things, or you're around people who don't necessarily, believe that it's possible, or you're around, nobody who does business, right? It's totally okay. You just really have to realize that if you want this bad enough, if you want to see success, if you want to reach your goals, it's not only totally possible, but you have all the keys you need in your hands right now. And the only key that you need is a good mindset and a strong mindset to push you through those times, where people might be saying, hey, it's not going to work out, try something different, go to college, get a job, right? You hear this a lot, and I'm sure some of you guys watching this can relate to hearing those things. But know that no matter what, as long as you put your mind to it, as long as you set your goals right and follow them and put your goals first, always, you will be able to reach and achieve whatever it is that you want in life. So I'd say that's one of my biggest struggles, and that's also kind of a way to overcome that struggle. And what I did was just kind of take time to myself, spend a lot of time alone, working, hustling, grinding, and every single day I learned one new thing. I made my goal to learn one new thing every day, and it really helped me stay distracted, from what other people were saying, and stay just simply focused on my goals. So yeah, that's kind of an answer to that question for sure. I hope that helps some of you guys out as well.
Exactly. No, that's a really good answer. And if you guys don't know, Jeremy's actually 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so he's actually 21 now. We met 3 years ago. He was actually my first mentor ever. So it's actually really cool that, we're sitting here and everything like that together. When I first met Jeremy about a little over 3 years ago, it's really crazy because he's already done 7 figures when I first met him. So now, obviously he's done multi-7 figures. So, all these keys that he's dropping is from, all that experience with business and, a lot of money generated through those experiences as well. So like, obviously I really appreciate you, sharing that in depth. And I have another question that I think, everyone could also benefit from. So if there's one thing in business that you would say is necessary, right? Whether it's mindset, routines, whatever, what is one thing that you think everyone, like one trait that everyone should have in order, to reach that point of success?
Ooh, that's a good question. So if I were to nail it, it's a lot of things, honestly, but if I were to nail it down to one thing, I would say the biggest thing that you need to do, the biggest commitment, if you're sitting on the other side of this video right now and you're watching this and you're thinking about starting a business or want to see success in life, the one thing that I would say helped me the most, and honestly is something that could help a lot of you guys, is writing down your goals and one thing that you've learned every single day in the morning and at night. So as soon as you wake up, I did this for years and years and years, and I still do this, and it's a really, really important thing. Write it down in a notebook. If you don't have a notebook, use the notes on your phone, whatever it takes. Just make sure that every single morning when you wake up, you write down your goal, right? Whether it's, hey, I want to, move out to Miami in a year, or hey, I want to buy a house within 3 years, or I want to, become financially free for my family over the next couple of years. Whatever your major goal is, make sure you write that down every single morning in a notebook, or just type it in your notes in your phone, and make sure you also do the same thing at night, writing down that same goal, as well as when you do this at night, write down one thing that you learned throughout the day. And I don't mean, hey, I learned that you can't blow red lights because I got a ticket, right? I mean something that you learned that's related towards your goal, right? Like, hey, I heard this quote, or I watched this video and I learned this tip in business, or I learned how to build a website, or I learned how to market this new way. Write down one thing you learned at night, and if you didn't learn one thing that day, that means you need to learn one thing that night. So you got to get on YouTube, you got to get reading a book, you got to get out there and get some knowledge. The biggest thing and the biggest reason why I see this, and I actually learned this whole method from one of my mentors that I had, and one of the biggest reasons this works is because it makes you commit to learning one new thing per day. And if you learn one new thing per day over time, that's literally 365 new things per year, meaning you're adding, 365 potential other ways, to reach your success, or potential, other assets that you could add to your life by learning them to get you closer to that goal of success. Also, with writing down your goals, it's super important because if you write down your goals first thing in the morning and first thing at night, it lets you know that, number one, the first thing you think about when you wake up is that goal, and the last thing you think about before you go to bed is that goal. Super, super important. Another thing I wanted to add real quick is just to make sure that you guys are, learning from people who have done it before. Cam can attest to this, I can attest to this. I've had tons of mentors in the past, and one of the things that got me to where I am was, investing my time and my money into learning from people who have already done it. You think of it this way, right? If you go and you get a job, they're going to give you training in that job to do that position. Without the training, you would have no idea how to do the position. It's the same thing in business, right? If you start a business and you don't have training, or you don't have somebody who's done it successfully before coaching you, it's going to be a lot harder to, achieve that success, and it's going to take you a lot longer, costing you time and money. Most importantly, time, because time's the one thing that you'll never get back. So it's really important to, number one, keep yourself reminded of your goals and focused on those, as well as invest in your learning and learn from people who have done it before.
Exactly, and that's actually really cool that you say that, because that's essentially how we met.
Yeah.
Obviously you're my first mentor ever, so I'm very fortunate to be in a humble position to say that. I can definitely vouch for that information, because if I never invested in myself and learning, we definitely wouldn't be in this position today together, like sitting here talking. I'd probably be in college or something like that. So it's really crazy, from learning from the right people, how much I can change your life. And that's not even just, investing in a right mentor, but it's also just learning on YouTube, podcasts, literally any information that you can take from people that you want to be like, or where you want to be at in life. That's the most important thing. And I just have a few more questions, and something that I'm sure a lot of, you guys are wondering, and a lot of, things that I've heard a lot in my life, I'm sure you've heard a lot, is people saying, e-commerce is dead, drop shipping's dead. People are saying that all the time, right? And I had a lot of people, in my high school, people now still tell me that to this day, every single day. So what is the one thing that you would say, if someone said that to you?
Yeah, so I've had, tons of people say that to me, and I've heard that a lot on social media. The crazy part is when I first started in dropshipping like 5 years ago, nobody was saying that because it was literally brand new. But as dropshipping's developed, as it's become more mainstream, more people are talking about how to make money online, things like that. Nowadays, obviously, there's a lot of people out there, who love it, which is awesome. And there's also a lot of people out there who are, oh, it doesn't work, dropshipping's dead, da 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 da. But I'm gonna break down for you guys real quick the reality of it. So I like to use Amazon for this example just because they're the solely biggest business in the world that is growing every single day that involves, selling products online. So when you take a look at Amazon and their business model, right? Amazon is essentially drop shipping products because they are doing nothing other than connecting the supplier with the buyer. They don't make any of the products that they sell. They're simply holding inventory and connecting the supplier with the buyer, which is exactly what you're doing in drop shipping or exactly what you're doing in any of these e-commerce business models that you guys are probably hearing about. So when people say drop shipping's dead, that's essentially like saying, people buying things from Amazon and people buying things online is no longer, a thing, which is honestly completely false because if you just take 5 seconds out of your day and research online business and research, online retail and see the numbers, they are exponentially growing every single day. Every single day that passes, there is more and more people buying things online. There's more and more people shopping online. I mean, people literally buy bananas on Amazon nowadays, right? You have people delivering food to their house online. Right? So there is no way that online business or any of this is going anywhere. It is only getting bigger and only getting better, and more people are hopping in each day. And that's why it's crucially important that you guys take it seriously and take seriously the fact that you need to get started, right? Now, there's never been a better time to start than now, and each day that goes by, there's more and more people buying online, meaning more and more opportunities for you guys to see your success in online business. However, each day that you wait to get started is a day that you're losing, or a potential day, that you could be getting closer to your goals that you're losing. So what I would say to that is obviously it's a completely untrue statement. Like I said, if you literally do 5 seconds of research, you'll understand that the online business niche and selling things online and online retail is only growing. More people are switching to buying things online, especially with things like COVID and pandemics and certain things going on. So it's just something that it's a completely false statement, first off, and it's something that you guys need to understand critically and really understand that the best time to get into e-commerce is now. It's never been better. And you guys, if you get started, you're going to see a ton of success in this, especially in today's age when everybody's lazy and everybody's wanting to buy things online. So that's kind of my answer to that.
That's perfect. That was a really good answer. Definitely a lot of people could take, a lot of stuff, a lot of keys away from that answer. And I guess I was probably wondering one or two other things. So I think one thing that's important are, people that, used to be in my position, used to be in your position as well, right? Maybe they, they never made $1 online. They're maybe, interested in getting started or whatever, and there's just a lot of things that go into starting your own online business, right? There's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made, a lot of choices have to be made as well. So, if there's one thing that you could say to everyone out there that they're trying to start an online business, they don't really know, how to do it, their parents might be telling them, this, that, their friends might be telling them this and that. What's one thing that you could tell people that are in that same position that, maybe we were in, but a lot of people are obviously, in that position?
Yeah, exactly. So one of the biggest things that I would say that you guys need to really understand about getting started in business, or for that matter, getting started in anything, is that it's a learned skill. It is not something you're born with. It is not something you just naturally have. It is not something that just, comes along and all of a sudden you have a, successful business land on your lap and it just works out. It's 100% a learned talent, just like speaking, a language. When you're a baby and you're learning how to speak English, it's scary and, hard to talk, and you don't know how to talk because you don't understand the language because you haven't learned it yet. right? But as time goes on, when you get older, then you start speaking, whatever language you speak, and you start doing it fluently and confidently and, with confidence every time you say something, because it becomes, just your habit, right? You learn it completely and you know it like the back of your hand. You don't even have to think, and you are able to speak words, right? When you were a baby, you weren't able to do that. Just like with business. Obviously, if you're sitting on the other side of the screen right now, and when you hear the word online business, e-commerce, dropshipping, Amazon, whatever it is, you think, oh my gosh, like I don't know how to do that. How will I ever do that? The reason you don't know how to do it is because you've never done it. And you're never going to know how to do it unless you simply try. And unless you simply throw yourself into the fire. Guys, if you just sit back and watch and learn and read and never take action on anything, nothing's ever going to happen, because you're never going to actually learn from experience. Learning from experience is super important. That's why things like investing, and learning from people who have done it before is crucially important, because you're literally just investing to get, their knowledge, as well as investing your time into actually doing it. I see so many people just watch from the sidelines and, say, hey, I've been debating on starting in dropshipping for 6 months, but I haven't done it yet just because I'm nervous I'll fail, right? Well, if you're nervous you'll fail, if you're just sitting there thinking and you're nervous that you'll fail, you're already failing because you're not doing it. So you can't really get any worse than that or any lower than that. So think about it in a way as, hey, I haven't learned anything yet. I haven't started my store yet. I haven't started dropshipping yet. And that's exactly why I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling, a little anxious, a little scared to start. Once you hop in it, once you throw yourself in the fire, once you start really learning, you'll feel a lot more confident because you'll have the knowledge on it. But you're never going to get anywhere if you don't take that first step. And the first step is obviously the hardest, but once you do it, each step after that gets easier. Right? It's like crawling up a set of stairs when you're a baby as well. You can't get up those stairs when you're a little kid and your parents have to carry you, but once you learn how to step up those stairs, it's easy and you don't even think about it. It's the same exact thing with business, and for that matter, with everything you learn in life. So my number one thing would be to say to take the first step. It is the most important step you'll take, and it is a step that can open a door full of tons of opportunities that you never even knew existed.
Exactly, that and that, I literally completely agree with that, because it doesn't truly matter, right? It does matter to an extent how much you know, but you could be someone that knows all the information in the world, but if you don't apply it, nothing's going to happen.
Exactly.
So that's a really big takeaway from that, which is really, really crazy. And I guess the last thing that I would want to speak on is what is one thing that you could tell everyone, just the biggest takeaway, that out of everything, this is something that they will need to know. And I know, you dropped a lot of keys here, you dropped a lot of crazy information, but what is one thing that, you want them to remember?
Okay, so as I said earlier, there's a ton of different things. So this is a totally great, another question to answer. I got an answer for this, and one of the biggest things, honestly, is finding your why and finding your reason that you're doing things. This is something that is really, really important for you to understand, and will push you through whatever it is that you're starting. Even if it's not online business, whatever it is, guys, you need to find out your why in life. I call this your why because it's essentially your purpose and the reason that you're on this earth. I strongly believe that every single person on this earth has a different purpose, a different reason, and a different reason why they're here, right? A different thing that they can help the world out with that somebody else didn't. And you really need to sit back and think about your purpose. Overall in life, what do you want to do, right? Do you want to inspire? Do you want to teach? Do you want to help? Do you want to be able to provide for your family? Do you want to become financially free and provide for your community? Think long-term about what you really want with your life. And the answer to this question is not a Lamborghini, it's not a nice house, it's not a party in Ibiza, it's nothing like that. It's got to be something that's unmaterialistic, something that's related to you and overall what you feel happiness doing. And a good way to find this out is by getting yourself in different situations and doing different things. For example, trying business, right? If you want to be a singer your whole life, if you want to be an artist your whole life, right? Try making music. If you want to paint, try painting and posting on Instagram and seeing how people react, right? No matter what it is that you want to do, if it's, your purpose and you feel like, hey, every time I do this task, I feel like I'm doing this and I don't need to get paid for this. I would do this for the rest of my life even if I wasn't getting paid. once you find that out, for me, it was teaching, helping, educating, and getting out there and giving people the real mindset help and keys that they need to see success. Because I realized when I was a young kid that I didn't have a lot of people who were throwing that mindset at me and really explaining to me the possibilities. When I was younger, I had no idea e-commerce was even a thing, or that you could even get started in business when you were younger. So as I developed, I learned that my main purpose in life is to be the person that I needed as a kid for as many people as possible in the world. So now every time I'm going through business and something gets hard, something gets tough, something's not working out, my goal isn't just a Lamborghini. My goal is something that's untangible, something that's a big purpose in life, and something that I can't simply just give up on. Because every time something gets hard and I think about hey, I can just put this to the side and forget about it and move on, I think back to my main goal, and hey, if I stop and don't get past this part right now, I won't be able to achieve the main goal that I want in life, and that is enough to keep me going every single day. And obviously one of the biggest parts of staying consistent is knowing your overall goal and knowing your overall vision in life, and having that motivator that gets you out of bed and pushes you every day, without having to get motivation from somebody else. It's something inside of you that builds a fire, and once that fire ignites, it is lit for the rest of your life. But guys, if you don't know your purpose yet, if you don't know your why, that's totally fine, and it's probably because you haven't put yourself in enough positions and really figured out what you want. And one of the biggest things is putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, trying new things, seeing new parts of life, traveling, right? Seeing new people, meeting new people, getting out there on social media, trying different things. As you try different things, you'll really learn a lot about yourself, and you'll really start to find what really motivates you and what you really want to do overall in your life. Once you find that, it is very easy to stay motivated, because that fire in you will push you for the rest of your life, through hardships, through hard times, through breakups, through times where you're broke, through times where you're mentally struggling with certain things. That has helped me more than anything. Guys, put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Successful people are not successful just because they live this lush life where they just get to kick back and chill. It's because they're masters at being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. A lot of successful people I know that make millions and millions and millions of dollars per year don't live a chill life. They live an absolutely insane life, but they're so used to it and they're so comfortable, and they know that they're working towards their passions, so they're happy and they're enthusiastic and they're excited to get out of bed every morning. So the number one key to success is finding your why, finding your purpose, and really putting yourself in those uncomfortable positions and trying new things. That's where growth happens. That's where you learn about yourself. You don't grow by doing the same thing that you're used to every single day. Go try things, try new things, and I guarantee you guys will see a lot of success by just doing that.
Exactly. And I can tell that, you're very passionate with how you say it and everything, and also from experience too, right? Because, obviously not just me, right? It's really crazy that, the story that we have with, helping me, first getting started with online business, and, now me being in this position, I'm sure, something like that lit a fire inside of you as well.
Exactly.
Because, if that's your main why and that's your purpose, you see it actually executed in real life situations in the same way.
Exactly.
And not just me, because I know that, you've helped countless people, also people that I know personally, and a lot of other people. So it's really crazy that, it's actually really crazy to see that, everything coming to effect in real life situations.
Exactly.
And what's really cool too is that, when I first got started too, I didn't really know my why. When I first got started with e-commerce, I was just trying to make some money, but it also kind of correlates to what you said too, because, I didn't know my why until I put myself in these situations and experiences of, starting online business, starting all this stuff, because, my why now is very similar, and I really enjoy, doing all this stuff too. So yeah, it's actually a really crazy story.
Yeah, that is. It comes full circle.
It really comes full circle, when you put it together. But I'm really happy that you've been able to, come on here, talk to everyone about, who you are, a little bit more about, not just your why, but, more of your success story and everything like that. So, I really appreciate you coming on here. And, obviously I'll put the socials on here where you can find Jeremy on Instagram, YouTube, everything like that. But if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. And guys, please leave something that you have learned in your biggest takeaway from this video, because Jeremy really dropped a lot of keys. You know, we've been wanting to make this for a long time, and it's finally out. So this is a very, very private and exclusive video that I'm very excited to, finally make. So feel free to comment something that you guys have learned or something that is a big takeaway. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.